I finally decided that it was actually time that I sleep trained my toddler. Although she no longer nurses to sleep and has been sleeping in her own crib for a few months now, I decided that it was finally time that I stopped rocking and bouncing her to sleep and get to the point where I could just lay her down and she would fall asleep on her own. So this is what the first night looked like when I decided that I was going to commit and not give in. The reason I've never done this before is because every time I tried laying her down while she was awake, she would immediately stand up and just hysterically scream and cry. And no, I don't mean the fussy baby cries. I mean fully hyperventilating, screaming, crying, and not laying back down. I really didn't have a plan going into this. I was just going to keep lying her back down, but I knew that I wasn't going to let her cry it out. She usually gets a 9-ounce bottle before bed, and it takes her about 10 minutes to finish. Normally at this point, I would rock and bounce her to sleep until she was out and then transfer her. Like I said, no game plan. I wasn't going off of any books or any recommendations from anyone else. I started off by laying her down. At first, she didn't start crying, and then she stood up, and then once she realized that she wasn't getting picked up, she started to cry, and she started to fuss more. After about 5 minutes of this, the crying turned into hysterical screaming, and she just wasn't having it. At this point, she didn't know what was going on, so I decided to get in her crib with her and not let her lay on me, but lay next to me. She almost immediately calmed down, and it took her about 5 minutes to fall asleep. I was able to sneak out really easily, and she ended up only waking up one time in the middle of the night. I felt bad once I saw how relaxed she got once I got in the bed with her, but I know this is something that we need to do and stick with. So here's to night one not being terrible, but not being easy.